Daniel and Melissa had been married for 6 years. To everyone else, they were relationship goals. Loving glances at dinner parties, matching Christmas pajamas, and inside jokes that could make them laugh across a crowded room. But all of that shattered one quiet evening over dinner. As they cooked together, Melissa looked up from the salad bowl and said, "There's something I want to talk to you about, but please don't get mad." Daniel, still stirring the pot on the stove, glanced at her. "All right, what is it?" She hesitated. "I've just always been curious about what it's like to be with a black man." The spoon slipped from Daniel's hand and clattered onto the floor.
What?
"Not like that," she said quickly. "It's just a fantasy I've never explored. I thought maybe if we talked about it, you'd understand." "So you want to cheat and call it a fantasy?" "No, I just thought we could try something open, for exploration." Daniel stared at her, his partner, his wife, and for the first time in years he saw someone he didn't recognize. "If you go through with something like that," he said, eyes cold and calm, "we're done. I mean that." Melissa apologized profusely. She swore it was just talk, that she loved him, that she'd never go through with something like that. Daniel wanted to believe her, but while he was away visiting his mother for the weekend, she did exactly what she promised not to. She invited someone over, a man she had met online, tall, charming, exciting. It was supposed to be a one-time mistake, but then it happened again. She deleted messages, used a burner email, and even changed her perfume. She thought she was being careful, but secrets never stay buried. Daniel wasn't looking for trouble. He trusted her, even after what she said. But one night, while Melissa was in the shower, her phone buzzed. He glanced over and saw a message preview that said, "Last night was amazing. Can't wait for round 3. His blood froze. His hands moved without thinking. He unlocked her phone and what he found destroyed him. Photos, messages, plans. She hadn't just betrayed him. She'd lied, repeatedly, with a smile on her face and a kiss on his cheek. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. She lay beside him, breathing softly, peacefully, while his heart shattered in silence. He sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. His mind screamed, but his mouth said nothing. He turned to her one last time. "You broke me," he whispered. "And the worst part is, I still love you." He leaned down, kissed her forehead gently. Not out of affection, but goodbye. A silent farewell to the woman she used to be. The next morning, while Melissa was at work, Daniel packed his bags. He didn't leave a note. Just signed and filed divorce papers, took his name off the lease, closed their shared accounts. He erased himself from their life like he was never there. When Melissa returned, the house was quiet. Too quiet. His clothes were gone, the wedding photo missing from the shelf. Then she saw the envelope on the kitchen counter. Her eyes widened. Inside, signed divorce papers, final, irreversible. He didn't even leave a message. Just silence. She screamed, cried, called his phone over and over. Voicemail. She drove to his office. He had already resigned. She begged mutual friends for answers, but no one knew where he'd gone. Melissa was alone with the truth. She thought she could cheat, erase it, and still keep him. But by the time she realized what she'd lost, he had already chosen peace. Daniel moved to a new city, new apartment, new job. He didn't hate her. He didn't even want revenge. He just wanted peace. And now he had it. Sometimes the loudest response is walking away in silence. Melissa couldn't sleep. Every night felt like a new punishment. Her thoughts, her guilt, her regret, all screaming louder than any silence Daniel had left behind. She kept replaying it in her mind. The empty closet, the missing photos, the untouched dinner table. The way he had vanished without confrontation, without rage or tears. Just gone. It drove her mad. The man she had loved, the man she thought would always be there, had slipped through her fingers like water. And now she was drowning in the consequences. She started texting him. First, "Daniel, please call me. I need to talk to you." Then, "I know I messed up. Please, just one conversation." Then, "It was a mistake. I wasn't thinking. I didn't mean for it to go that far." All left on read. Some never delivered at all. She called his phone daily. The line eventually went out of service. She even messaged his sister, who replied only once. "You should have thought about this before you broke him." In desperation, Melissa drove 4 hours to his parents' home. She showed up at the doorstep with red eyes, trembling hands, and a bouquet of white lilies, Daniel's favorite. His mother opened the door halfway. The warmth Melissa once felt in that house was gone. "Is he here?" Melissa asked, her voice cracking. His mother stared at her in silence for a long moment, then finally said, "He doesn't want to see you. Please, I just want to talk." "You had your chance." The door shut slowly, not with anger, but disappointment, and that hurt more. Every day after that became a ritual of longing and denial. Melissa posted throwback photos on social media, beach trips, anniversaries, selfies with goofy filters, trying to look like she still had a connection. Still my favorite person. 6 years of love, I'll never stop. But the silence remained. No likes, no messages, no sign of Daniel. She left notes under the mat of his old apartment, bouquets at the doorstep. Waited in her car across from the diner where they had their first date. She sat there for hours, watching strangers walk in and out, but he never came. One evening, she whispered into her steering wheel, tears rolling down her cheeks, "Please come back, I'll do anything, just come back." But no one answered. Not him. Not even God. On a cold Tuesday morning, Melissa opened her mailbox and saw an envelope with the court seal. She already knew what it was. Still, her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was the final divorce decree, signed, stamped, filed. Daniel's name was scribbled at the bottom. One final stroke of silence. No letter, no explanation, no second chance. Just finality. She slid down the hallway wall and sat on the floor, letter trembling in her lap. Her vision blurred as the tears came, louder than ever. It was really over. No dramatic argument, no door slammed. Just a man who once loved her walking away and never looking back. She had thrown away the one man who would have stayed loyal forever, for a fantasy she didn't even care about now. Now she was left with everything she thought she wanted, and nothing she truly needed. Regret is cruel that way. It doesn't shout, it whispers. Too late. He didn't scream, he didn't beg, he just walked away and left her with the weight of her choices. If this story struck a nerve, like, subscribe and share your thoughts below. Sometimes silence speaks louder than revenge.